Would you like to speak with less strain, less effort, and less fatigue? Well, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to speak with greater ease. So this is for you if you have high demands on your voice. You speak for hours every day. Maybe you're in a sales role. Maybe you're a teacher, a lecturer. Maybe you travel the world and you're on planes and you're getting off and you're doing lots of presenting, but you're using your voice in demanding and intensive situations. Today's video is for you because I'm going to be talking about the powerful benefits of nasal breathing. And this may not have been something you've ever thought about because for a lot of us, we don't think about how we breathe, we just breathe. So I really want to share why this is so transformational in the health and function of your voice. So stay tuned if this resonates with you. Before I get going though, my name is Anuska Taylor. I'm an experienced voice coach and Jungian depth coach. And I've been training voices around the world now for more than 15 years. And my approach is unique because I combine both the sort of vocal technique and vocal function aspects of voice use with the psychology of what's really driving your vocal habits in the first place. And I use the Jungian psychology within a coaching model to help clients really have a profound transformation in how they speak, how they communicate, and how they show up. So if you're interested to learn more, there's many links below from online courses through to you can book a one-off 60-minute session with me through to my signature private voice coaching program, Speak with Impact. And of course, if you enjoy my videos, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's talk about nasal breathing because this is so transformational as it relates to your voice. And I want to share 5 specific reasons why nasal breathing is so important for the health and function of your voice. And I'm going to be talking about speakers here. Singers is a little bit different, but still fundamentally, you want to try and breathe more through your nose than through your mouth. Whether you're a singer, whether you're a speaker, you want as much of your breathing through your nose versus through your mouth. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have 100% perfectly through your nose. I don't. But can you bring the balance more towards nasal breathing? So let's talk about the 5 reasons, because I think maybe after you've heard the 5 reasons, there might be more of an incentive to actually practice this. And it is something that you can practice. So there is good news there. But if you're very much a mouth breather, it's not going to change overnight. Like most habits, it's going to take some time for it to be embodied and become very natural and normal for you to sort of primarily breathe through your nose. So number 1 is when you breathe through your nose, it moistens the air. Now, a big issue with many people with their voice is that their throat will dry up. So if you're gulping in air through your mouth, you're going to find that your throat dries quite quickly. Now, Marie Forleo, who's a famous sort of personal development coach, entrepreneur in the US, I remember she talked about this, and I always remember this because it was really interesting. She actually started working with a voice coach, Roger Love, who's a big voice coach in the US, because she started to get issues with dry throat. And actually what he told her was you're breathing too much through your mouth. You need to start breathing through your nose. And so when you breathe through your mouth, you're really just going to dry the vocal folds out much, much quicker. So breathing through the nose will moisten the air. And for any of you that don't know, the vocal folds actually have a mucosal lining similar to the inside of your cheeks. They need to be moist to vibrate efficiently, freely, effortlessly, and in order for your voice to really function. So the wetter, the better, the more moist your vocal folds are, the better. So this is why this is so important and why mouth breathing is one of the quickest ways to dry out everything, particularly if you are in a dry environment. So maybe you're in an office and there's lots of air conditioning, or you're at home and there's lots of air conditioning or heating. The air is naturally going to be drier, which is already not great for your voice. So breathing through your nose is going to just provide a little bit moisture to the air. So that is number 1 and very, very, very important, because drinking water takes time to actually reach the vocal folds. So this is immediate kind of moisture to the vocal folds. Number 2 is it filters the air. So if you think about it, when you breathe through your mouth, it's just wham, straight into your throat, straight into hitting your vocal folds. When you breathe through your nose, you've got those little hairs in your nose and they trap the dust, the pollutants, the irritants, the allergens in the air. So it's going to help reduce any irritation to your vocal folds. And it will probably, if you're someone that coughs a lot as well, maybe when you speak, you find that you cough a lot, then this could also help because you're going to be filtering the air as well as, of course, as we've said, moistening the air. So the vocal folds are just going to work better and they're not going to be irritated either by particles of pollutants and dust, etc., in the air. Number 3 is it reduces vocal effort. So this is very interesting. So when you breathe through your mouth, you are actually increasing the minimum pressure required to initiate and sustain the vocal fold oscillation, meaning the vocal folds vibrating, which is what has to happen for you to create sound. So essentially what we're saying is there is an increased effort required for you with your voice when you breathe through your mouth. So if you're trying to speak with more ease, you're trying to reduce effort and fatigue, so then breathing through your nose actually lowers this minimum pressure. And they've done studies on this with groups of people to see the difference. And so this is another big reason why breathing through your nose is so important, because it's going to allow your voice just to function more freely and more effortlessly, and you're not going to feel like you have to work so hard when you speak. Number 4 is it calms your mind. So how many of you, including myself, get nervous when you have to speak, when you have to present in front of an audience, or if it's an interview or something that's really important to you? So breathing through your nose will calm your nervous system and you're going to feel more relaxed. So there's a couple of reasons for this. One, because when we breathe through our nose, we breathe slower. And slower breathing is synonymous with feeling more calm, feeling more relaxed. But also when we breathe through our nose, it actually activates our parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a really good thing to do before you go and speak. Take some deep breaths through your nose. It's really calming, it's really soothing. And then, as much as possible, when you are speaking, breathe through your nose. As much as you can remember to do so. But as I said, once you start to train yourself to do this, it will become more embodied and more natural, and you won't have to think about it. And finally, already sort of alluded to this, but you have better control of your breath. So when you breathe through your mouth, there's just massive gulps of air that you're taking, and it's very difficult to actually manage that air. When you breathe through your nose, you're not able to gulp in air, and you're able to actually control and manage that breath far more efficiently. And therefore, that's going to have a profound impact on your voice than if you're just gulping in air. Then you've got to do something with that air. And particularly if you're not someone that's used to breathing sort of deeper, your shallow breathing, your shoulders are rising and your chest is rising when you breathe, it's going to feel quite overwhelming to your system if you're gulping in large amounts of air. So breathing through your nose allows you to sort of manage and control that breath. And then that's going to have a far greater impact on controlling your voice and actually being able to support your voice with that nice consistent airflow. So it's all well and good me telling you to breathe through your nose, but how do you actually practice this? So I'm going to share a little exercise that you can do throughout the day and in the morning, either in the shower or when you come out of the shower, and just try and build it up so that you get used to the feeling of breathing in and out through your nose. So we're going to do a very simple hum. Now, remember, if you haven't watched any of my videos, the key to humming correctly is to ensure you feel a buzz around your lips. Hmm, hmm, hmm. It might be subtle, but you will feel a little bit of a tingling. If it's sounding or feeling like constricted and tight, and it feels like it's in your throat, you know you're not humming correctly. It's got to be forward. You've got to feel it around your lips. So get that first, and then do a few gentle rounds of this and breathe in and out through your nose. Mm, 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 mm. Try and keep the face as relaxed as possible. And importantly, because I see this a lot with clients, keep the nostrils relaxed. When we are used to breathing through our mouth and we start bringing the attention to the nose, the nostrils are like, whoa, what's going on? So often they will start flaring as you breathe in and out through your nose. So try and keep the nose, the nostrils, the face, the jaw, the lips relaxed around the eyes and just focus on very gentle breathing in and out through your nose, a nice gentle hum. This is really, really good for your nervous system, for calming your nervous system, as long as I said you're doing it properly and you're feeling the buzz around your lips. If you're pulling the sound into your throat, stop and just see if you can find that that place right at the front of your lips. Finally, I just want to say that, as we mentioned, the voice likes to be moist. The wetter, the better. Most people have a shower in the morning. Do this in the shower. It's like a buy one, get one free. The voice is going to be extra moist. The air is going to be extra moist. So it's like even better for your voice. If it's too much to do it in the shower while you're washing and things, then do it when you come out of the shower before you open the bathroom door and let all of that moist air out. So just try and inhale through your nose that lovely moist air in the bathroom, because it's so, so, so good for your voice. And then you can add the humming to that as well. But either way, just try and inhale that lovely moist air, either with or without the hum, but through your nose. And just try this. Just, see if you can gradually increase, maybe start with 10 seconds, and you can do this throughout the day as well. Go to the bathroom, do a few rounds of this, do it in the car, like wherever you can do it. When you're walking the dog, I mean, I make weird sounds when I walk around the park, but that might just be me. So you can find ways to do this. There's always times you can do this while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. Just try and find little moments throughout the day where you can practice breathing through your nose. If there's people around, just practice breathing through your nose with your mouth closed. And if there's not people around, then you can do the humming as well. So I hope that that's helped. I'd love to know how you go and see if you then notice a difference on your voice. So maybe try this before a big day of speaking and see if it kind of helps your voice. But as I said, it's going to take time for this to be embodied, for this to become your new normal, because the habits take time to break. So if you want any help, please check out the links below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please do like, comment, and share. And I will see you on next week's video.